Yes, and welcome to my live. I'm Sisian from Manifest underscore Sisian. My channel's all about self development, spirituality, and awareness. Right? If you have not as yet, go ahead and subscribe to my channel because my channel's all about developing yourself to become a better person, to get more aware of your life experience. Today, we're going to talk about a very interesting comparison, actually, because we're going to talk about Bashar's teachings together with Abraham-Hicks teachings. The most interesting concept is that both these channelers, right, Bashar, that's Daryl Anchor, and Esther Hicks, together with her husband, because she actually discovered channeling and ability to channel, and how she discovered Abraham Hicks was through her interest in channeling when she was invited to actually have a channeling session in 1983, right? And in 1984, I think, yeah, she started channeling at Abraham Hicks. And then with Daryl Anchored happened a bit different. Right? He had a UFO experience or encounter or something like that, right? And yet their teachings are so aligned specifically. And before the two channelers at channel now that we give us teachings on awareness and being able to manifest in God's own reality, we had the set teachings, which was channeled by Jane Robinson, who passed and left the physical reality in 1983. Yeah, so today we're going to talk about the similarities between Bashar's teaching and Abraham Hicks' teaching, because I actually um, follow both teachers, spiritual teachers, right? So the first one is that they both emphasize emotions. It's about the emotional guidance, okay? Bashar calls to follow your bliss. And then Abraham Hicks speaks about following your emotional guidance, basically, right? Again, it's still focused on your emotions because your emotional body is a key factor when it comes to manifesting your reality, okay? Your emotions are your guides, all right? Not to say that you need to be afraid of low frequency emotions or anger, because you are able to express all your emotions as authentic as possible, right? Don't be afraid. If you're feeling angry or anxious, okay, the whole idea is not to give resistance, but they both speak about it, right? They both say, both teachings highlight emotions as the internal compass for us, right? For our manifestation and creation, okay? Both indicate alignment with your true self. Your true self is a happy self. Your true self is a self that believes and feels joy most of the time. Your higher self, right, higher mind, doesn't operate the way you operate in the third dimension reality, because everything that you see it in a human perspective, in a physical perspective. You don't see the overall picture of why things are happening. You don't see that everything's are working out for your divine good. You see threats, you see joys. And in a higher level, your higher self sees only joy. Thank you, Ken, for joining my live. Sigma, thank you for joining my live. Today we were talking about the comparison with Bashar's teaching and Abraham Hicks' teachings. Both are basically linked, if you think of it, right? But they're expressing it differently. Because again, remember, for spirits to reach a wider audience, there should be different perspectives and different approaches, because people will be maybe more aligned to Bashar's, but not more aligned to Abrahamic teachings, and yet their teachings are basically the same if you put those two together. So I did a bit of a comparison to get clarity for my own self, because I wanted to understand what is the link between these two teachings, okay? Okay, now I said that both emphasize emotions as guidelines of guidance for us as human beings in the physical bodies, okay? Both teachings highlight emotions as an internal compass for us. Okay. So Abraham Hicks says feelings indicate an alignment with your higher self, or your true self, or your higher self, right? Bashar says excitement and joy. Excitement and joy signifies or signals as a signal from your higher self. So excitement and joy is a signal from your higher self. All right. Meaning that your higher self, who sees more clearly in that higher perspective, uh, uh, is giving you messages or giving you signals to say, well, this is follow this, focus on this. It feels good. Okay, so what feels good actually gives you mental ease, and it gives you mental health, and it gives you physical health as well, right? So follow that route that seems so expansive instead of restrictive, right? Then number two, alignments with the higher self. They both speak about the higher self in different ways, okay? Abraham-Hicks talks about aligning your inner being. And Bashar says acting on your alignments with your core self. Okay, so Abraham is speaking about inner being, and Bashar is speaking about your core self, right? That core self, that higher self, okay? And then number three, focus on the positive feelings. Now they both speak about that. Both focus on choosing the thoughts, the actions, and the um inspiration that makes you feel good. All right, so it's about your both teachings focus on the choosing your thoughts, your actions as part as all parts that actually excite you, okay, to actually feel good in life. It's about you choosing the best option of all. Now this is easy, but people find it hard to focus on positive things because they are thinking about, no, they're thinking and they're stuck in a concept of this is real. This is real. This is realistic. Okay, now remember, real and realisticness is all objective to a person. What's real to you and what's real to me is two different things. Our worldviews are all different. Thank you for joining my live, Ken, and underwater. Okay, as well as Sigma. Thank you for joining my live. Today we are talking about this concept about how Bashar and Abraham's teachings align and the differences between the two, the languages that they're using to reach the different type of people that align to their teachings. But if you look at it, both of them, they're both saying the same thing. Okay, focus on positive feelings is a big thing right now. People may be thinking that, oh, should I then reject and resist negative feelings? No, feelings are signals. They're telling you on what's going on within you, not outside of you. We think that negative feelings or things that's connected, purely connected, purely connected on the outside, and yet it's things what's happening within us, right? Because everything is getting created from within you. You are creating this whole universe, right? From your own little inner universe, your own little inner world, and then that's how you create everything else by those actions, those thoughts, right? So now you are having this thought that the world is a miserable place, okay? So everywhere you go, you now seeing it. You seeing it on television. You seeing news on of bad things happening, torture, murder, all those things. You align to that because your worldview is specifically aligned to that perception that the world is a terrible place because it's inside of you. Thank you for joining my live. Right? I hope you guys will find this very insightful. It's very interesting to understand that everything that we are actually creating is within us already. Right? It's our perceptions, our world views. Okay. So focusing on the positive feelings doesn't mean deny your um bad feelings at any time if you have them. The whole idea is to ask yourself, okay, why do I feel like this? What's the meaning of this? Does it really add value to me? Because you have the right to choose those things that you want to believe in, right? Remember, a feeling also comes with a belief. It comes with a belief, and you see something, you assign, you give an assignment, right? And yesterday I spoke a lot about assignments, assigning meanings to things, okay? Now remember, you can only assign meanings to things according to your worldview. Because if your worldview is basically, this place is horrible, I am living in a horrible world. This world is a horrible place. Everything is not working out well here. Now that's your worldview, okay? Now that is your worldview. That's your driving force for your life experience, okay? So you focus on that feelings, right? That's what they said. So the thoughts are important. They both agree on that. Both Bashar and Abraham-Hicks teachings speak about positive thoughts and focusing on your positive thoughts. Then number four, step-by-step approach, okay? Everything is done by step, okay? So Abraham-Hicks says, reach for the next best feeling, right? Your next best feeling. And Bashar says, Act on your highest excitement, in other words, right? So the one is talking about reach for your next best feeling, right? And the other one, Bashar, is saying reach for your highest excitement. Basically, it's saying the same thing but different ways. Okay. Then number 5, manifestation and attraction. Big, big for both of them. This topic is big on both the teachings. Okay, relevant, very relevant. So both encourage following the positive feelings, right? Or excitement that leads to you attracting more like situations, circumstances, and stuff, and people as well in your life. When you start thinking positive, right, it allows you to attract more positive experiences. But remember, this is how it works. It's about consistency and developing a what they call hypnotic rhythm, right? Napoleon Hill talks about hypnotic rhythm. When you do something continuously, it becomes your lifestyle, it becomes your worldview. You don't even think about it anymore. You don't need to think, okay, I have to think positive about this thing. It's there naturally because it's a rhythm, it's a frequency. Now, we all have developed certain habits because of the hypnotic rhythm when we do the same thing over and over again. Now, those habits could be negative habits because they don't add value into our life experience. Okay. So when I'm saying negative, it doesn't add value. It brings you the stress, it brings you pain, it brings you frustration, right? Then on the other end, what adds value brings you peace, wellness, uh, prosperity within yourself. You at peace and you feel of wellness and you are grateful. Right now, remember what adds value to you, the negative feelings or the positive feelings, right? Then you need to think about that. So, what am I thinking? What is my core world views? What can I remove in my mind and my perception, in my aura, in my subconscious mind? What can I change? And yes, you can research your subconscious mind. You can change if you really want to, right? Using and doing that positive thing over and over again until it becomes part of who you are. You don't even think about it anymore. It becomes a hypnotic rhythm, it becomes a habit. Okay, now they say it takes about minimum 21 days for a habit to actually start to kick in for you to get used of doing something right. But if it takes 3 months to do the same thing all the time, then it becomes now embedded into your mind as a worldview, right? So your first 21 days, you try something new, okay? This new way of thinking, positive way of thinking. You start affirming things, right? You start removing things and you start now readjusting your worldview. Your worldview is how you see yourself and the world, how you see yourself in relation to the world that you're actually manifesting, okay? In on the day-to-day basis, right? Now remember, you are born with a frequency, right? Which is love. Then you're born into a family. Maybe a family not so bad. They're good people. You get taught good things, good morals and values. Okay, fine. Now you have this lovely, healthy worldview. You got a stable background and everything. Okay. However, you taught one thing. And I mean, this is something that we have to be taught. The rules of engagements in this life. It gets taught at home. Rules of engagement says there are rules here. You got to do this to get that. Okay. You taught as a child, be quiet, be a good child so that people can accept and love you and you can be loving. You have to be quiet. You have to be obedient. You have to go with the flow. You have to follow the crowd. Okay. Because that's how you will be accepted. Now you suppressed your true self, your true feelings. And now you learn that, okay, well, I can't say anything which is against the program, against the social norms, or else I'm not going to get the love and acceptance. I'm going to be an outcast. You taught that as a young child when your mom says to you, okay, quiet time, I'll put you one side because you've been naughty, I'll put you in a corner. Right now, that's your first in teaching that when you do something not socially acceptable in your inner circle at home, you get told to go sit in a corner that you have quiet time. That's your punishment for not abiding to the rules and regulations. You didn't share your toys. You never keep quiet and all those things. Now you need quiet time. That's what's happening. And then later on in the world, That quiet time is not just you can put you in a corner. It's not like imprisonment where your freedoms are taken away totally. Because as a child, your freedoms were taken away, right? You must be quiet. Don't go anywhere. You can't go play. All your freedoms are taken away. That's the first teaching we get as children to be indoctrinated in the human life experience, that yes, I must behave in a certain way to be able to be accepted and have freedom in this society, right? So now that works against our free will. Yes, it also works against our sense of self, because now we cannot be ourselves if you because of the fact that if you yourself, if you ever do anything that's outside the norm, and then you shall be punished. Right now, that is something that's taught. Okay, so what does that do? It also indoctrinates you that you must silence your voice, don't be your true self, be a follower. When other people are saying go left, say yes, let's go left. When you other people are saying blue, then go with the blue. Because everybody says the sky is blue. Even if you can see the sky is red, whatever, that's your perception, okay? But you can't own your own perception, right? Because the world says you cannot. Right? Now that is indoctrination. And that actually silences you and closes down your throat chakra and messes around with your solar plexus and other parts of you. You understand? So now you're not your authentic self anymore. Now we have these two teachings as adults. These two teachings are telling us, yes, be your authentic self. Abraham-Hicks' teaching is telling us that be your authentic self, and yet we were taught. But no, it's not safe to be my authentic self, because if I am my authentic self, I'm going to be cut down. I'm going to be isolated. I'm going to be left alone. No one's going to like me and love me. No one's going to accept me. But now, as an adult, we're getting taught now, because now we're adults. Now we can change our minds and make the life a little bit more different. Okay, now we're learning that we have freedom of expression. Okay, right. I have a freedom of expression, but now you must remember again, there's still guidelines, even in spirituality. Okay, there's still guidelines, something called karma. What you put out is what you're gonna get in, right? So now when you're manifesting, right, you're manifesting for yourself, but you're also manifesting with the collective as well. Thank you, Maxwell, for joining. Hi. If you feel like you should rest and yourself sitting alone, and you are self sitting alone. Yeah, sitting alone. Are you talking about having alone time and resting, introspection, being alone, isolate yourself for a moment, right? That should be done frequently, but not for too long periods, because you also need the people in the world. You still need to be able to connect with other people, right? But having quiet time is very important, right? When you own yourself, right? To be authentic, have your own time to be alone, right? So let's go back to the teaching. So we spoke about 5 things so far that they have in common. Number one, they both emphasize guidelines. Number two, their alignments with your higher self, right? Although they express it differently, but they're both saying the same thing. The one is saying, Abraham-Hicks is talking about aligning with your inner being, and Bashar is talking about acting in alignment with your core self or your higher self, right? And then number three, focus on the positive feelings. That both agree on that, right? That feelings and positive feelings are your way to your happiness and your bliss, right? Both teachings focus on choosing thoughts, actions, or parts that feel better for you. Parts, choices that make feel better for you, right? That bring excitement as well. Then they're using positive emotions as a guideline, positive emotions as a guideline in that way. Then number four, step-by-step approach. They both speak about, Abraham says, okay, reach for the next best feeling, reach for the next best feeling. Okay, then Bashar says act as the on your highest excitement. Bashar mentions the word excitement, being excited about something, and acts on your highest excitement. Okay, maybe to certain people that can be a bit put off if you're somebody that's never been in high frequency for most of your life, right? Your life has been about being low and down and stuff like that. So when these two are speaking about these things, the best feeling, what makes you feel good, basically, right? Your excitement, what inspires you. That's your excitement. Does this thing inspire me? Does it make me feel good in my body? Does it make me feel like I can act and do something positive, right? Because remember, when you're angry, disappointed, you're feeling down, you have no feeling that allows you, pushes you, and inspires you to do something positive, right? Because you're feeling down. All you want to do is sit there and complain and think about all the things you don't have, right? So when you're in that space, then now you need to go to gratitude as the next step. As Abraham says, you must go and reach for the next better feeling, gratitude. When you're feeling down, okay, let me focus on what I'm grateful for. I might not be able to change where I am now exactly, but let me focus on what I'm grateful for. That'll lift your frequency up, because from gratitude you can go higher, right? To reach joy and bliss if you are willing to go that high, right? Then manifestation and attraction, they both speak about manifesting and attraction. Both encourage following the positive feeling or excitement that leads to attracting more desirable experience in your life experience. And then number 6 is letting go, non-resistance, giving no resistance. Okay, very important. As I said, if you have a negative feeling, don't resist it. Ask yourself, oh, that's interesting. Why am I feeling like this? What's making me feel this resistance, this anger, this low feeling? I'm feeling sad. I'm feeling a bit like disappointed. For what reason am I feeling like this? You must own your feelings, because that's your feelings for that moment. It doesn't mean it's gonna be forever. But when you resist it, what you resist will persist. You try and push against it, and it keeps coming. You keep manifesting the same thing. You keep fighting yourself in your mind and saying, no, I cannot have this feeling. I cannot have negative feelings. Why am I having negative feelings? Now you're pushing against it. Right? But if you accept it and say, okay, I'm feeling like this at this moment. Okay, I know why I'm feeling like this. I'm disappointed. Oh, I know I'm worried. I'm concerned. I'm anxious. You know what I mean? That kind of thing. But why am I worried, concerned, and anxious? Why am I doing that? Now, remember, both these teachers, Abraham and Bashar, are teaching us to be conscious of ourselves and our own experience, conscious of our own emotions, conscious of our own decisions, conscious about our own words and thoughts, our own worldviews, okay? Conscious of why and what we're thinking on a day-to-day basis. So in other words, they're moving us, they're both moving us from living in a hypnotic rhythm, living in just like, following the crowd and just like being in autopilot, moving us from being all from autopilot to being aware and taking responsibility of our emotions, our actions, and our thoughts and our worldviews and what we ultimately creating in our realities. Okay, because what you're creating in your reality now is coming from your core thoughts, your core worldview, all the words you say to yourself and say to other people about yourself and about other people. How you judging other people is definitely how you're judging yourself. Because if you judge other people, you're judging yourself. So everything's coming from the self. Okay, basically, this is what they're telling us, that everything's coming from the self. So when you quiet the self and be silent and ask and start engaging with the self, instead of you only engaging with the world and blaming people for your situation, engage within the self and ask yourself, why is this happening? Okay, what has led this thing? What is my core perception in my worldview that's causing this thing to keep on coming in my reality? I solve this problem, then another problem comes in. I have a breakup, and then, well, I let that go. I start another relationship, and then I find that there's toxicness in the relationship, and I'm not happy in the relationship. I'm abusing the relationship. What does it tell you about you? But there's something within you that is aligning to that experience. Okay, what is it? Then you ask yourself. So they're both teaching us to do introspection, to own our life experience. And most people don't want to own their life experience. They rather blame other people, circumstances, and situations outside of them, because it makes them feel good. The ego, it makes them feel good, right? To blame other people. But the problem doesn't get solved. The problem is still there. I always tell my clients when they complain about being in many relationships, and all these relationships or being or disappointing or toxic, their partners or abusive and all that stuff, right? Then I always say to them, what or who is the common denominator in these relationships? We had 5 or 6 relationships. Who was in all these relationships, or what was in this relationship that is a common denominator? Okay, then they realize it's me. It is you, because you the common denominator. You've been in all these relationships, right? With different people, mind you, but you are the common denominator, right? With your worldview, whatever you believe in, right? Each relationship, you never go in and ask yourself and learn and take ownership. Instead, you decided to say that no, it's my partner. He is toxic. He's abusive. He doesn't know what he wants and all those things. Right? You put all those labels on that person, but you don't ask yourself, okay, how did I contribute in this relationship? How did I contribute in this relationship, in this abusive relationship? Why did I even say yes to this person? How did I get a match to this person? You understand? Remember that relationships, bad or good, are there to teach you something about yourself. Okay. And it's okay for you to have and go through some negative relationships that are abusive, because that's going to teach you that no, I don't want abuse. Right? When you know what you don't want, then you'll get what you do want. But if you can keep on and keep on dating the same people and the same issues come up all the time, that means you're not taking ownership, number one, and you're not being aware. You're not giving yourself time, number one, to heal from the previous relationship and find out, okay, what did I learn from this relationship? Okay, what happened from the beginning to the end? Did I really know what I wanted in a partner? Do I even know now what I want and I desire in a partner? Okay. Can I also offer the very same thing my partner needs? Since I want something, right, from that person, can I give that person the same thing that I desire? If I want patience, can I give them patience? Remember that you can only attract who you are. If you have no patience, right, and you're wanting patience, it's going to be a problem, because then again, you're not aligned to that experience, because you're not patient. You don't have patience. So this thing goes even more deeper, right? So letting go of resistance is very important. Then living authentically, that both speak about living authentically. They both teach and encourage living authentically by true uh, embracing yourself. Embrace yourself, truly embrace yourself. Be aware of yourself and embrace yourself and live authentically. So these teachers, right, the teachings, right, of Abraham-Hicks and Bashar are very much aligned. Now remember that we have to take ownership of our life experience. Okay, they're both teaching about ownership, right? The law of attraction. What you attract, who you are. Okay, so you have to be aligned to the thing that you want to attract. They both speak about the law of attraction. The law of attraction, this is the most fundamental principle, okay? It's often summarized by the phrase, that which is onto oneself is drawn, okay? This is what Abraham believes, okay? That kind of thing. So the law of attraction is more about what excites you, right? Will make your life good, and then it'll also bring things alike. So you must always be keeping your frequency high. Okay, the law of attraction is a very important concept when it comes to manifestation, but it's not the only one. Okay, there's many other concepts around manifesting, right? So you are the creator. In most cases, they're both speaking about us being creators. They're both speaking about us, both these teachings, Abraham-Hicks and Bashar. If you have not come across Bashar's teaching or Abraham-Hicks, right, I encourage you to go and look at their content, right? Go look at their teachings, okay? They're here for a reason, okay? Everything that's put in the game is there for a reason. Now, people are more focused on all the sensationalization, the news, all the negative things, okay? There's a lot of positive things that can help us in this reality to understand ourselves and also to manifest a better reality in totality, right? Very important, okay? So your emotional guideline system, that's what Abraham-Hicks calls it, okay? Then Bashar calls it follow your bliss. So the emotional guideline system, right? Your emotional guideline system is a compass, an internal compass. They are a feedback system from the inner being. It's a feedback system from your inner being, your source, your inner being, your source, your higher self, your higher mind. When you feel good, you are aligned, right? You align to your desires on the right, and you're on the right path. When you feel good about something, you have an aha moment. You decide, well, I want to lose some body fat. I want to gain more muscle. Okay. That does that make you feel excited? Yeah, but you're concerned how you're gonna do it, right? Then you focus on, okay, what can I do? What can I do to lose the body fat and then gain more muscle? Okay, what type of exercises can I do? Okay, I go online, I see people are doing certain exercises, so I try them, and I'm not feeling excited about these exercises. Now you're not following your bliss to get to your end. Okay, so you have to find something that's an exercise or a regime or a practice that's going to help you lose the body fat, gain the muscle, but also enjoy it. Must be exciting. You must be excited about going for a jog. You must be excited about going for weightlifting, things like that. You must be excited to move your body, right? It must bring some sorts of excitement, okay? So a lot of people, when they start a regime, right, there's no excitement, and maybe there is an excitement, and then they get bored, and it becomes difficult for them because at the end of the day, they don't understand that what you put in is what you're going to get out, okay? No matter how painful it is. It can be painful, right? But at the end of the day, how does it make you feel when those hormones, feel good hormones, make you feel good within your body? Although it was a bit of a challenge, but because you're excited, your excitement pushes you past the pain. You understand? Because you excited, you really inspired. You understand that this thing's gonna lead you to the right way. You really have the end goal in your mind. You know where you're going, and you know what you're doing, right? You know that even if there's some pain and uncomfortability, it's gonna end up at this point with me having those abs, those flat, nice, pronounced abs and stuff like that, right? Then you look at the food, okay? The food, maybe you don't enjoy eating whole foods because you spent all your life eating processed foods. So you take it slow by slow, right? And look for something, foods that make you feel happy when you eat them, right? And tell yourself, well, I'm heading to a certain place. This is my plan. This is my goal, right? That's how it is with everything. May it be starting a new business, may it be applying for a new job. You have to find some sort of excitement. It's about you talking yourself into it because your mind is everything, okay? Because your mind is programmed, right, to keep you safe. And everything that you do that's challenging is takes you out of the safety mode. So your subconscious mind said, no, you can't do this. It's not safe. No, you cannot do this. You cannot do this. This is painful. Now you only focus on that, right? Because your body is geared to keep you safe, right? But if you tell your mind and condition your mind that, no, this is a PowerPoint, right? This uncomfortability can be overcome. This uncomfortability is not lasting for long. It's only for now. My body will get used to it. My body, mind will get used to it. And then when the more you do something now, then I mentioned the hypnotic rhythm that Napoleon Hill speaks about. Okay, hypnotic rhythm. Okay, very very important. Because when you get into that vibe and get your body and your mind used of doing the same routine, a regime every single day to get where you want to go. Now you're telling your mind that yes, now we got a new program. There's a new guy on the block, and this person likes going to the gym. Okay, it's joyful, and this is where we're going. And it's gonna lead us to a place of success and health and wellness, right? It's all about you reprogramming yourself, right? The emotional guidance system, as I said, is a feedback mechanism. Okay, very important. When you feel good, you are aligned to that thing that you desire, right? So if that thing doesn't make you feel good at first, okay, you have to keep on it and tell yourself that this thing that I'm doing, it has a positive outcome at the end of the whole process. Okay, you need to, like how you convinced yourself that it's okay for you to sleep until 12 o'clock and get up and watch TV and don't move your body. You told yourself that it's okay to sit and rest and do nothing. Now, when you're exercising and moving, you got to tell yourself continuously that this is ending to a great end. This is for my best, highest self, my highest version of myself, right? Again, now you're not just moving in through life. Now you are now being a conscious creator of your reality. This is what they're teaching us, to be that conscious creator of our reality. Now, let's talk about the vortex. The vortex is what Abraham-Hicks speaks about, right? A lot of people don't understand, right? The vortex is an energetic, non-physical place where all your desires reside. All right, they say it's in the astral. Okay, so the vortex is an energetic, non-physical place where all your desires reside. When you have a desire, whether a new car, a new job, or a loving relationship, you launch a rocket of desire. In other words, you launch a request to the universe that this is what I desire. And this thing is now kept in the astral, in your vortex, okay, as Abraham calls it, but actually the astral. Now remember that the astral is the place where all our thoughts and the desires are sitting, and then in there, the more we add energy onto those thoughts and desires, right, they manifest things into our reality, right? So whatever you believe in, right, and want, you actually making a request from the universe. You're saying, yes, I want this thing because I know it exists, okay? Now remember, there's a time, a space between you wanting and that request and you getting. And there's things that needs to be done between the wanting and the getting, okay? There's things on the spiritual side and things on the physical side that you need to do, right? While you are trying to close that gap, so you get that thing can now drop on your onto your lap in this physical reality. Think about it like that. Use graphic visualization type of mythology when you want to manifest. Okay, I made this request. Okay, it's up there in my vortex, in the astral. Okay, so what do I do now to close that gap and pull that thing that I want from the astral into the physical? Firstly, you have to keep high vibration. You must believe in that thing. You must do certain things. If it's a business, go and register the business. Think of a name. Think of a business plan. Think of how you're going to get your customers. Who are your customers? Think about your pricing. Think about the products that you are selling or the services you are selling. How you're going to package this, the service. Now you actually creating, because now you're actually doing all those things. That's how Bill Gates created Microsoft. That's how Oprah created her own empire. You understand? That's how every single person, that's how Elon Musk created his empire. You understand? Because at the end of the day, although you come from a wealthy family, doesn't mean you're going to be a wealthy, successful businessman. Even though you have money, it doesn't mean you're going to be a successful person, because you have to build it and manifest it, okay? And how you do it is your business, okay? There's no right and wrong in the universe. Only here in the physical, we policing everything and every person, okay? But in the spirits, there's no right and wrong. Basically, when they see things, they say, okay, you came down to create. How you create is your business. You know the consequences. You know about karma. You know the give and take. So now here you get freedom. However, beware, but on earth, it's not like in the spiritual realm. Yeah, on earth, you're going to be put one side. You're going to be punished. You're going to get that karma if you engage in a way that's against the moral code, the legal code of the earth, of the physical third dimensional reality, this earth school, okay, this matrix as they call it, right? That's why it's very important for you to understand that you have the rights and authority to create everything that you want to create and use the means that you have, but remember the consequences of it, okay? Because there's no right and wrong. There's no right and wrong. There's only creation and choice, right? That's what we have to make choices and create the reality and be responsible of that reality, because you're the master of your own reality, okay? Now your vortex is that space where you keep all your requests, okay? So your job is to keep your vibration high so that you're able to pull that thing into your reality, okay? You might be doing the do, but you don't believe it now. That's working against you. You're doing the do, you're doing the things that you need to do to bring that business into your reality. But now you are working against with your perceptions. You're saying, this business is taking so long to actually be established. Oh, it's expensive. Oh, it takes so much time. When you keep on telling yourself that, now you're pushing it away further and further away. But if you keep on feeding your creation with momentum of excitement, enthusiasm, right, positive inspiration, think of what the ideas, okay, how I can make this thing faster. If I do this, I do that, I can bring this thing in reality more faster. Oh, if I do this, I can get more clients. If I use online AIs, I can get reach more people. If you're thinking of constantly thinking of positive things to pour into your creation. See what I mean? So the difference is there. What are you putting into your baby as you're creating this baby? You're birthing this new business. All right, you're birthing this new idea that's sitting in the vortex, in the astral somewhere. Okay, now you had to bring it down into your physical reality. You had to really do the work, right? The physical work, the mental work, and the spiritual work. Speak into it. Pray over your business every morning and say thank you and say, yes, I'm a successful business person. This is my first business and it's very successful. If you keep on telling yourself that, right, then you're able to actually encourage yourself, because remember, you have to be self-soothing, you have to be self-reliant when it comes to encouragement as well. That's what ownership means. That's what sovereignty means, right? So your vortex is your business, right? Because that's where all your desires are kept. If you are a type of person that has desires and then you forget quickly about it, give up, okay? Now you're creating a whole lot of thought forms there that haven't really manifested into your reality, okay? And you're wondering why other people are successful and you're not. Because you're not finishing off the process. You're not putting in the things that you need to put in. That's what it means. Manifestation is a very simple thing. Okay, so we have to take ownership. You can do all the techniques, but if you don't do the things that really count and feed and nurture your new project, your new manifestation, it's not going to work out for you. When you neglect to grow your dream and make it your reality, and you think it's going to pop up just like into your space, but it needs feeding, it needs energy, because this game is an energy exchange. Everything's about energy, yeah, right? So the more focus you're putting on that thing that you want in that vortex space, right? That energetic physical place where all your desires are kept. Okay, when you have a desire, whether it's a car, a job, or a relationship, you launch a rocket of desire. Okay, and the universe places it in your vortex, in the astral. Your job is to chase after the things you desire, right? You chase after them, but do the things that you need to do, right, to get there. In other words, okay? So you chase after your desires. When you are in the vortex, you are in a state of joy. Your joy, when you are in that vortex, in that space of creation, it's about the joy. It's about you following your highest excitements, as Bashar says. Okay, so both these teachers, Abraham-Hicks and Bashar, teaching about the same things: taking ownership, owning your creation, owning your life, owning your thoughts, understanding what are your core thoughts, getting rid of things that don't work for you, not resisting them, but changing them. Changing, and I'm changing, transmuting, not resisting. When we say get rid of, okay, I have these thoughts. So thoughts, you have served me well. I now release you, okay? Because now you don't serve me anymore. I'm not going to change that thought to something more positive, right? Again, it's about you talking to yourself and understanding where you are. All right. In essence, Abraham-Hicks' teachings provides practical framework for deliberately using the law of attraction, and so does Bashar's one. Okay, deliberately using the law of attraction by being aware of yourself and everything that you are doing, everything that you are saying. Right. They emphasize that your state of being is important. Your feelings and your thoughts are important. And the most crucial factor in creating your life you desire is the part of joyfulness, the part of less resistance, the part of less struggle. It's an ease. Okay, so when you're creating, you create something that should be easy for you and exciting. It's more better to choose a part that excites you. Choose a hobby, choose a job, preferably if you can, because most people go into jobs because they need the money and it's about the hustle. Okay. However, when you're in that job that you don't really enjoy, you can learn to enjoy it. It's your prerogative. You have the ability to enjoy the job that you're doing because you bring in your money. I always tell my clients, you are where you are now. You can't move, right? Because you can't just leave your job, right? But you can assign new meanings to this job. You can assign new meanings to everything that's making you miserable in that space. That means you have ownership. You're taking ownership. You have the power to give a new meaning to every single thing. It's your business, it's your prerogative. Basically, that's what they're teaching us, and we need to understand that. Assign a new meaning to whatever's happening is making you uncomfortable, making you feel miserable, because you're making yourself feel miserable and uncomfortable by assigning a meaning that makes you feel restricted. You feel like a victim. You feel like, okay, I don't like my job. I don't like the people I work with. I don't like what I do. I feel that my skills are way above what I do. Right? But you said yes to that job because of the money, right? Now you're there. So learn to enjoy it. Okay. Start with the money. I love the fact that I'm earning good money. I love the fact that this is a consistent payment that I pay. I get paid, right? Consistent payments I get paid. All I have to do is pitch up every single day. Now it's your choice to pitch up as your best version of you, or the opposites, right? The one is complaining about your job, always complaining about your job. Nothing happens when you complain. You're just telling the universe, you're telling God that, yes, I like this. Keep it just the way I want it. This is what I want. Because you're focusing on it, right? When you're complaining, you're focusing on that thing. When you're speaking about, when you're focusing on, this thing, you're making it big. You understand? Give me more of this. That you tell universe that, right? Give me more of this, right? Of this unhappiness. But if you change it around and say, I'm grateful I have a job. I'm grateful that I have a way of making money, an income. However, it gives me ability too as well for me to use my skills that I'm learning in this job to also go and try and make a side hustle with my hobby. Do things that enjoy you, right? That you enjoy. I always tell people, if you don't like your job, what are your hobbies? What do you do outside of your job? Because your job that you do, your employment shouldn't be the sense of your life. Okay? Should not be the sense of your life experience. You should have hobbies that's gonna bring you that ease, it'll bring you that calmness and enjoyment if you don't enjoy that work. Okay, totally. But then again, as I said, there's certain things that you can learn to enjoy, because you're gonna give it a new assignment. You're gonna assign different meanings, powerful, empowering meanings to the fact that you work in accounting departments, right? And you're miserable. The fact that, okay, you got a skill with numbers, that's why you're there. So what? That's the reason why you're there, right? And you apply for the job. Okay, maybe it's not the work itself, maybe it's the people, the socializing with those wonderful people. Find something that's gonna make you happy every single day. Change the assignments you're putting to things in your life. All right. And in the meantime, while you're doing that, you can also try your hustle on the side. Your hobby can also eventually make you money. You understand? Do something. Maybe if it's running your sports during the weekends, you engage in that. You just immerse yourself in things that you make that are joyful. That even in a workspace, that thing can carry over. That feeling of joy and contentment can carry over to your workspace, because remember, it's all hormones, it's all emotions. Okay, life is good. Now when you're working, you say, yes, I'm gonna do my best share. It's an all week, and weekend I'm gonna go do the things that I really love. Or maybe after work I go for a job to relax myself. I love moving my body. It makes me feel good. Then let that be that avenue of your happiness and your joy, so that you can able to raise your frequency and be able to manifest a better experience in your life. As simple as that. It's all about you manifesting a better experience in your life. It's all about you leveling up, all right? It's all about that, right? So I'm about to finish off now, right? So anyway, life is all about you, what you make it, right? Life is all about what you make it. They say we're living in illusion, all right? In an illusion, in a matrix, okay, all right? A hologram, a reality, okay? Our higher self is a true self, right? We are just playing a character here. Whatever person you are, Ezekiel, Maxwell, thank you for joining my live from Lucy Lisigi. How are you, my dear? Yeah, I didn't see that you were from Lusigisig in Eastern Cape. Thank you for joining my live, Maxwell Olisa. Right, so it's all about you developing yourself. Kolisa from Lusigisig. If you have not as yet, go ahead and subscribe to my channel. I'm based in Durban, South Africa. Right. My channel is about self-development and awareness, right, and leveling yourself, and also manifesting and creating a better reality in your life experience, okay? Right, I'm a life coach and a public speaker, motivational speaker, okay? So you can follow me on, also subscribe to my channel and check my videos. I've got very interesting videos there on different topics of self-awareness and self-development and spirituality as well, right? Because these two go hand in hand together, right? I speak about a lot of things. I make videos on witchcraft, magic spells, and all the other stuff, right? I also do tarot as well. I do tarot readings, but I haven't started on YouTube reading yet, because I'm still building my community here, right? So yeah, that's why I haven't started here. But I am aiming and focusing on building my numbers on YouTube, and you know how it goes, right? So if you like my content, go and share my videos with your friends as well. Ezekiel, if you have not as yet subscribe to my channel, please go ahead and do so that more people can get to see my content, right? Because we're growing this channel, right? So remember, self-awareness is about you taking ownership, you being consciously aware of your day-to-day actions. You get up in the morning, first thing you do, you thank spirits I'm alive, okay? Thank you for my night's rest. I'm now going to start my day, and I'm ready for this wonderful day. That's being conscious, okay? What happened yesterday happened. It wasn't such a good day, but it's fine. I'm now moving on today. Each day is a new page for you to write more, to live more. Each day is a new page. Don't live in the yesterday, live in the now. Another of these teachings that Daryl and not Daryl, Abraham and for sure teach is living in the now, in the now moment, living for today, living for the now. And don't worry what about the past and what happened in the past, because your blessings are in the now. You live in the now. What happened in the past, you cannot go back and redo. So people ponder and they grieve on what happened yesterday, and they keep on replaying it, right? So when you start your day, it's important how you start your day in the morning, and how you end your day in the evening is very important, because now when you end your day, it's all about, okay, thank you, spirits, thank you, divine source, for this day. I'm now getting myself ready for rest and sleep. I'm grateful for every single person, every single situation that came in my life experience. And I know that every problem that I've experienced, I've overcome them, because I have the power to overcome every problem, and every challenge can be overcome as well, right? So you tell yourself that I'm thankful, I'm grateful for this day, right? I'm blessed. I'm thankful for the food I've eaten. I'm thankful for everything. Now you're saying, telling this to the universe, you're telling yourself, basically, right? Remember, spirituality is not about serving your God, it's about serving yourself. It's about serving yourself and others. It's about the self and others. Because when you serve yourself, you serve the others as well, right? Unlike spirituality, where you're giving your power away to a God that's outside of you, right? A God is demanding you to not to be authentic, but to follow the rules and regulations, right? With spirituality, you have self-governing. You know that the laws, what the laws say. The greatest law is oneness in the spiritual laws, right? Oneness, the law of oneness, to love others because and love yourself, because everybody is one and connected. There's no separation in this reality, right? What I do and say today to other people are going to affect me as well. Okay, what I'm saying to myself as well is going to affect other people as well, because I am creating an energy around me, right? That's going to attract according to my vibration. When your vibration is high, you attract better situations, people, circumstances as well, right? You attract things in your life according to your aura. Okay, so I made videos, a lot of videos about your chakras and stuff like that, so you can get people understand the basics of who we truly are. The energies that we hold are very powerful, and those energies create our realities. Okay, now we are creating in the world as individuals, as microorganisms, right? And we're also creating as a collective on a macro level as well, with all the 6 to 8 billion people that are here, if their number is actually accurate, right? But that's what it's all about, right? About you creating your best version of you to, at the end of the day, create a best version of the world. We can heal the world when we heal ourselves individually. It's one step at a time, as Daryl and Abraham and Bashar say, that one step at a time, change things one step at a time, right? Don't be too in a hurry to change everything about your life for you to raise your frequency. One thing at a time. Your thoughts, watch your thoughts. Practice meditation, very important. Meditation is very, very important. Both these teachers speak about meditations, quiet time, and introspection and journaling, right? Don't be too much in the hustle and the bustle of life, because that's when you don't not in control of your true self, right? You need to own yourself. These are my decisions I'm making now. You should know why you are making a certain decision. What does it add to you, to your life in the long term. Remember, it's not only about today. It's a long-term thing. It's a long-term thing always, because we're actually creating a future. We're all individually creating our future. So it's a long-term. What I do now, this habit, it serves me, and it's going to add positivity to my life in the long term. So I'm going to adapt this habit. I'm going to continue with this habit. This other habit does not serve me. So I'm going to remove it. I'm going to say thank you. You served your purpose, right? I'm now releasing you. It's not about resisting. It's not about fighting with that parts of you that are not doing good for you, right? Because your thoughts are parts of you. It's your worldview, okay? It's about you easily releasing those negative thoughts and say, yes, you served me for that time, right? But now there's no need for you anymore, right? Thank you for what you've contributed in my life. But now I'm willing to change my life to more positive thinking, right? And you release it. Okay, because people think they need to fight with themselves, fight with their thoughts, fight with who they are at this moment. You want to change. No, there's no need to fight. That's resistance. What you resist is going to actually persist, right? What you resist is going to persist. So you have to make it easy, an easy transition, very easy without fighting anything. You're just changing. You're choosing love. You're choosing peace. You're choosing understanding. You're choosing positive thoughts. It's going to add value into your life, all right? That's how it works. Slowly but gradually, no rush. And in spirituality, we're not rushing anywhere, because it's a lifetime game, right? In spirituality, we're not rushing anywhere, because it's a lifetime game. You take each day as it comes, right? And journal each day. So you're meditating in the morning, you're being grateful in the morning, saying your gratitude, you're living through your day. And remember, when you create a rhythm, a hypnotic rhythm, a habit, right? You're in during the day, your mind will remind you when you want to say something or do something against your belief that you're trying to, the new belief, then your mind will remind you, remember, that we don't complain. We always speak about positive things. We say we're always grateful, right? Your mind will remind you for you to stop complaining, but be more grateful. If you've got nothing good to say, then you'd rather be quiet, right? Understand when you see other people doing things that trigger you, right? At that stage, control your words and how you react or respond, right? You might as well be quiet until you have something that's uplifting to say to that person, right? Instead of something that's gonna hurt that person or insult that person. Because now what are you doing? You're basically allowing yourself to be controlled by triggers. It's all about that awareness. Like in my other videos I made, I speak about people being quiet. Think about what the person has said, digested, and then respond in a loving way, right? You're not being controlled by their emotion that, oh my God, it's called triggered. The person triggered me. I'm so angry and upset because I don't like what the person said. How dare that person say that to me? Remember that people, or every single person, is living in their own worldview, in their own consciousness. They can only operate from their own level of awareness, okay? We all look like ordinary people, like we're the same, but we're not. Every single person's walking around with their own worldview, their own aura, their own worldview is their experiences, their own belief systems, right? Or creating why they do those things, right? Most people are living on autopilot. They're not living consciously. Spirituality is about you living consciously and taking responsibility of every single choice, every word you say, every action you do, everything you don't do and do at the same time. You understand? Because we're all not perfect. We're all just trying to do the best we can, right? So then when you in spirituality, you learn how to forgive people, have compassion. It's very important. Forgive and have compassion, have patience, right? And give people grace, right? So that you can receive grace too from the universe as well, right? Remember, you get what you are. You get what you give, basically, right? So again, I'm Sissy, life coach and motivation speaker. If you like my content, you know what to do. Go and subscribe, immerse yourself in my videos, comment as well. I love engagement. Okay, I don't get much engagement on YouTube, but on my TikTok, I've got like over 5,000 followers on TikTok, right? Because that platform grows faster, right? So if you are into TikTok, go into TikTok and look for manifest underscore and with underscore Sissian, or just manifest with Sissian. Manifest with Sissian. You'll see my channel there on TikTok as well. Okay, and you can also follow me there as well. Okay, because I'm growing my channel. And I'm going to have lovely subscriptions coming through as well, okay? Because I am a life coach and I got a lot of packages that to offer in terms of self-awareness, things that can help people for them to be able to level themselves and become better people in totality, right? Hope this live was helpful. Okay, and if you have any ideas or questions or any suggestions on topics that you want to speak about self-awareness and self-development, go ahead and suggest. Okay, send me a message and then I'll respond. Okay, have a great Sunday and have a wonderful week further because it's the first day of this new week. Okay, Sunday, have a great week further, right? And I'll see y'all next week. I have lives on Saturdays and on Sundays for YouTube, but for TikTok, I have lives Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Okay, so have a great Sunday and have a great week further as well. Right? Ciao.